everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Klaus to the Heart, and I am Jason Klaus. I sincerely appreciate you all taking time out of your day to watch this. It tremendously means a great deal to me. So, if you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button. I got to get that out of the way, or else I'll forget by the time we get to the end of the episode. Because, quite frankly, I'm not sure how this will be edited yet. But neither here nor there. Before I get started with the first topic today, I want to give a shout out real quick to Chris and Sarah Collins, who put in a tremendous amount of work in putting this past Sunday's event at the Sprint store in Davison, bringing all that together with the food vendors and the bounce house and things like that. Unfortunately, Mother Nature decided to throw a wrench in the works and had to cut things short, but we're going to do what we can to make up for the backpacks and the school supplies and the giveaways and all the things that we had planned for this past Sunday. We're going to incorporate that into this Sunday's show at the Richfield Road Church as part of Summer Smash. So there's my shameless plug. This topic has been, it was the first idea that was pitched to me, and in a roundabout way, and I wasn't sure how to approach it, and so out of the gate, this segment is going to be dedicated to my friend Eric. I'm not going to give his last name. I'm sure those who know will put it all together. But Eric, brother, this is for you here today, and perhaps it'll help other people, along the way as well. Just about every single one of us has gone through a breakup, a heartbreaking breakup with someone who at the time you thought was the yin to your yang, the one, and for whatever reason things don't work out. There's a variety of circumstances, a variety of reasons why, and all depending on how things go down. It can be one of the most traumatizing things that we experience. My friend Eric is going through such a time in his life, and the thing of it is there's a saying that says it's better to have love and lost than to not loved at all, or something along those lines. And there is some truth to that. Our lives are, for the most part, if you look at it, it can be broken down into chapters. And there's no set number of chapters in anybody's life story. We all do different things. We all have, a variety of experiences, trials and tribulations. I believe that with every setback, with every negative thing that you do encounter, it provides us with a teaching moment. And we, for the most part, come out on the other end better than we were when we walked in. We have a new nugget of information, another layer of knowledge. You can never know too many things. In Eric's case, he is just one of the absolute best guys I have ever met. Just one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. And, like everybody else, he's got his passions, he's got his desires, his ambitions, and they don't always match up with everybody else's, You know, I got quirks, he's got quirks, you've got quirks. You know, everybody's got their own little quirks. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us wonderful in our own unique way. Um, you know, I've talked to Eric off and on, you know, and I know he is going through, you know, a rough time. I would like to think that, you know, it's getting a little bit better with time, but you know, this was one that really affected him. This was an issue that really affected him, and you know, I'm sure other people who are watching this can relate to something like that. You know, they think, you know, it's the absolute end of the world, and there's nobody out there for them. And you know, what did I do wrong? You know, we can all sit here and spend hours, you know, pointing the fingers of blame towards one another, towards each other, towards yourselves. Um, it's not going to do you any good. You know, if it gets to a point to where you realize um, that it's time to move on, you know, like I said, every situation is different, and uh, there is no written manual on how to deal with a bad breakup, and what you're supposed to do. You know, everybody deals with things differently. You know, and you know, there's two sides to every story. You know, and in some cases there's three sides: his side, her side, and then the truth. Um, but the point is whenever somebody is going through a difficult breakup and they feel like they are not meant to be with somebody or it's the absolute end of the world, I'm here to tell you that is not the case. Um, it is simply the closure on a chapter, and it starts the journey to your next one. You know, there is no set time for, you know, being in that mourning process, that grieving process, you know, getting through the heartbreak. Um, However, it is also not something that you want to let let consume the rest of your life for either, because there's a whole world out there. There's a whole world that you have not experienced yet, because your particular journey has not taken you that way yet, but it's fixing to. See, the door, when that door closes on that relationship, it's opening another door for you. In some cases, it's opening a couple of them, and you need to decide which way you think is going to go. Sometimes you just go into it blindly and you run the risk. I mean, it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be really awesome or it's going to suck really bad. Um, but you don't know. You don't know what road to take, and you don't know what journey, where the journey can take you if you don't take the steps. You'll never get to where you want to be if you're not willing or you're scared to take those first steps. You know, um, in the event, you know, of a breakup, that's not to say that there's not somebody out there that is actually the perfect one for you. My mom always told me when I was a kid, um, and it's one of the things that stuck with me over the years, was you know, you got to get through the thorns before you reach the rose. And some of those thorns, you know, they're pokey little bastards, and you know, they leave a mark and it hurts. But eventually, those wounds heal, and when those wounds heal, you're back to being 100%, and it just the opportunities are limitless. You just gotta be willing to start making those steps. Um, Eric is, a fantastic guy, and I want nothing more for him than the absolute his perfect world. Happiness. He deserves that. He's a hardworking young kid, and he does everything that he's supposed to do to be a decent person. And you hate to see your friends go through things like this. But I know, in Eric's case, there is somebody out there for him that is absolutely perfect for him. If you're going through something similar, there's somebody out there for you. A lot of times it's when you least expect it. And then the saying could be said, well, I got to get out of the house more, right? But if you're just going to the bar every night and you're seeing the same group of people, you're really limiting your doors of opportunity to one specific area. If you're not getting the kind of result, if you're actively looking for somebody else, if it's not happening there, you probably should change venues and change the environment. But a lot of times, when you least expect it, that's when it's going to hit. That's when it's going to come, and you're going to know when that time comes that that's where you're supposed to be. Sometimes it takes patience. It takes time. But when it happens, you will know it. You will know it. And then you start to forget more and more about the last thorn that, left its indelible mark on you. I believe that there is somebody for everybody. I am very fortunate where I am in my life. I have a beautiful family. And I'm a very, very lucky man because of that. I would not be who I am without them. And I know that. 11, 12 years ago, I probably wouldn't. There's no telling what my life would have turned out to be. But the door of opportunity opened, and when it did, I knew that's where I needed to be. Your time, your door will open. And when it does, and even though it may be a little bit scary, because you just don't know. Some people are afraid of the unknown. But just know this. If it feels right in your heart, it's probably what's meant to be. Now, with that being said, on the other end of that spectrum, if you are somebody who is going through a breakup or something of this nature, because you were acting like a butthole, well then disregard everything that I just said, because that does not apply to you. Not until you turn your life around and start to realize the proper way to treat your significant other. So, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to attempt. We'll see how this goes. We're going to attempt a quick break, put in an advertisement, and then come back with a second segment. That's my intent. If that does not happen, this will be the end of this segment, and we'll see you next week. So we'll see which way my path is going to take me. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, welcome back to Close to the Heart. I am Jason Klaus. Thank you so much again for watching. And if you like what you see, by all means, please hit that subscribe button and tell your friends about it. So, hopefully we're just coming back from a break, or otherwise this is a standalone um, bonus episode, I guess, for episode 3. But I wanted to talk about something a little personal, if I could. Um, we all have bucket lists, and we all have things that we want to do and see and get done, before we die. And I am no exception. I have a list of things that I would like to see and do before my final bell rings. But when you achieve those moments in your life, they really stand out, and it's a sense of accomplishment that is unrivaled in many ways, right? So, um, one of the items on my bucket list, and anybody who knows me knows that I am a huge Rocky fan, the movie franchise Rocky, and it's a franchise that I if it's on TV, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing to watch. It's just one of my favorite sagas in 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 cinematic history. Um, it has so many iconic moments. I mean, even aside, it's like a six-part series, with the actual Rocky movies. But the thing that they kept reverting back to was those iconic scenes when he was running through the streets of Philadelphia, and you got to see um, his roots and kind of the rough part of town, and then that epic run through the city that leads up those stairs at the art museum, and you start seeing people post pictures and things that they got to do that. I'm like, man, I will someday. I'm going to do that. My wife Carrie and I took our kids to Philadelphia a few weeks ago for a family vacation, a family weekend, and she made sure that when we planned everything, all the things that we wanted to see and do while we were out there, was we got to see the Rocky statue and to run up those stairs. And full disclosure, my wife is not a Rocky fan. She does not. She does not share the same appreciation for Stallone's work as I do. Let's just put it like that. Um, but she knew how important that was, and recently, within the last year or so, my son Austin has also had an appreciation for Rocky. And for Christmas, I got the complete set. This last Christmas, I got the complete Rocky set. And he and I sat there throughout the course of a couple weeks and watched them all from start to finish. And I thought, man, he'll probably dig Rocky 4 because everybody dug Rocky 4, but I don't know if he'll stay invested with the first one, because the first one tells the backstory, and it's, if it was filmed in the 70s, things look different in the 70s, but man, he stayed invested and had a great appreciation for Rocky, the character, the movie, the whole 9 yards. And that's one of the things that he and I, shared. So, my bucket list item of running up the stairs at the art museum um, was made even more perfect because I was able to do it with my son. And it was just, both of us, when we were running up the stairs, we were giggling, like kids, because we were just like, we cannot believe that we're doing this. And then we got to the top platform of the art museum, and there is a bronze brick type of thing at the top where Rocky stood when he turned around and did his iconic pose. And we were able to do that, and it was a moment in my life I'll never forget, and it was just exceeded all my expectations. And I just wanted to share that story with you guys because it is something that is very close to my heart and really made an indelible impact. So I hope, that each and every one of you have an opportunity like that to where you can achieve a bucket list moment and it means that much, if not more, to you. So, one of life's gifts. So, with that being said, I going to throw up some pictures and I'm going to try to get the video on here so you can kind of see what we did there. But other than that, thank you so much for watching the show. And if you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button. And otherwise, we will see you guys next week right here. We'll see you then.